Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. My name is Julian. For the past few weeks, my wife, Sarah, has been acting incredibly strange, and I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong. We've been married for 5 years and have been a couple for 7, and I've never seen her like this. I'm not typically the suspicious type. We've always had a solid foundation of trust. The fact that I'm even thinking this way has me on edge. There isn't one big, obvious red flag, but a whole collection of small, unsettling behaviors. Her phone has become a fortress. She used to leave it lying around the house, and I would even use it if my own was dead. Now, it's always in her hand or face down on a table right next to her. She even changed her passcode a couple of weeks ago. Then there's the gym. She started going more often, which I initially thought was a great thing. I was thrilled 4 months ago when she decided to get a personal trainer to get in shape and feel better about herself. I supported her completely, but lately, she's been spending a crazy amount of time there, almost like it's a second job. When I ask about her workouts, she gives me short, empty answers like, "It was good," or "I got a shower," and then immediately steers the conversation in another direction. The whole thing feels off. Her best friend, Maria, has also been acting weird. Maria is normally so outgoing and easygoing around me, joking and talking, but recently, she's been completely different. She avoids eye contact, seems nervous, and just acts strange. A few days ago, I got home from work and heard low voices in the kitchen. Sarah and Maria were talking in serious tones, not laughing or gossiping like they usually do. The moment I stepped inside, they both flinched as if I had crept up on them. "Whoa," I said. "You two look like you saw a ghost." Sarah spun around with a forced, overly bright smile. "Oh hey, we were just catching up. Just girl talk." Maria looked like a cornered animal. She barely managed a mumbled "hey" before practically running out the door. I watched her leave, then turned back to Sarah. "What was that about? Why did she just take off?" Sarah laughed and said I had startled Maria by coming in so quietly. She claimed they were gossiping about a mutual friend's unexpected pregnancy and didn't want me to hear because it was just girl talk. The excuse felt so weak. The whole interaction left a bad taste in my mouth. Since then, this heavy feeling has settled over me. Sarah has also become more distant. It's not a dramatic change, just subtle little things. I've caught her in a few small lies. One evening, she told me she had been at the grocery store for an hour. I didn't think anything of it until I remembered our regular store closes early on Sundays. I brought it up casually. "Didn't they close around 7 last night?" I asked. Without a second's pause, she replied, "Oh, I actually went to a different one." The speed of her answer was chilling. Lying like that was never a thing with us, but it's becoming a pattern. I haven't confronted her directly because I have no hard proof, and I didn't want to seem like a crazy, paranoid husband. I tried to feel things out by asking if she was okay, saying she seemed distracted. She reacted defensively, snapping that I was imagining things and that she was just tired from work and the extra time at the gym. Her tone was so hostile. It was as if I had accused her of something horrible. I felt bad for even asking, but her strong reaction only made me more suspicious. It was a wildly disproportionate response to a simple question. I didn't know what to think. My gut was screaming that something was wrong. I even started to wonder if I had done something to make her mad. Maybe she was upset about something but didn't want to talk about it. And Maria's behavior still haunted me. It wasn't just awkwardness. It was guilt. For a moment, I considered they might be planning a surprise for me. A party or a gift. But there are no birthdays or anniversaries coming up, and the mood had been tense, not celebratory. I kept trying to convince myself I was overthinking things. Then, yesterday, Maria showed up at my front door without warning and shattered my world. She looked absolutely devastated, her eyes red and puffy from crying. I opened the door, and before I could say a word, she started rambling. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "What?" I barely got the word out. "I'm so sorry," she repeated, her voice shaking. "I should have told you sooner." I just stood there, completely numb. "Maria, what are you talking about? Can I come in?" she asked, her hands trembling. I stepped aside and let her in. She walked into the living room like she was going to her own execution. I closed the door and turned to her, but she kept going. "I've been lying to you about everything. About her, about the gym, about her trips. I was covering for her and God, I didn't know what else to do." Her voice was a fragile whisper. "Maria, slow down," I said, holding up a hand. "Covering for who? What are you saying?" She sank onto the edge of the couch, as if her legs were about to give out. "Your wife. She's been having an affair." The words felt like a physical blow. "What, Sarah? No, that's not right. What are you saying?" "I'm saying," she said, her voice barely a whisper now, "that she's been cheating on you for 4 months with her trainer, Ben." I had to sit down. My legs couldn't support me. I felt dizzy, my vision tunneling, the sound of my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. Maria kept talking, her voice shaky and fast. It started with just workouts, but then they were flirting, and then it became a full-blown affair. It's been going on for months. All those extra gym nights, all those girls' nights out. She was with him. And she stopped, taking a ragged breath, trying to hold herself together. I helped her cover it up. I lied for her. Every time she told you she was with me, she wasn't. She was with Ben. I even texted you from her phone a couple of times, pretending to be her. I couldn't speak. My mouth was open, but no words came out. She even went out of town with him, Maria continued. Remember that spa weekend last month? The one she said was for just us? It wasn't. I wasn't there. She was with Ben. I closed my eyes. She had sent me pictures that weekend, but now I remembered that none of them had Maria in them. Just Sarah, alone. I never thought twice about it. And that night in the kitchen, Maria said quietly, her eyes barely meeting mine. When you came home and we were whispering, we weren't talking about a pregnancy. We were fighting. I was begging her to end it, telling her she had to tell you. She was panicking, saying she couldn't, that you'd leave her. That's why we both looked so guilty when you walked in. Maria sat there, wringing her hands, her eyes swollen and red. I've been sick over this for weeks, she said. I told her so many times to stop, to tell you the truth, but she wouldn't listen. She kept telling me to mind my own business, but then she'd still expect me to lie for her. Felt like I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to betray her, but I also didn't want to lie to you. I was silent for a long moment, feeling a bitter pressure building in my chest. I didn't want to lose control. Eventually, I found my voice. How did this even start? Maria looked down. Right after she started training with him, she told me she thought he was cute, like it was a joke. I warned her, Julian. I told her not to do anything stupid. And she did anyway, I said flatly. Maria nodded. Yeah, she did. I shook my head, trying to absorb it all. And how did your husband find out? She winced. He saw some texts on my phone. I'd left it on the kitchen counter. There were messages between me and her, stuff about meeting up with Ben, covering for her. It was obvious. He knew immediately something was wrong. And he gave you an ultimatum. I said, more of a statement than a question. Yeah, she whispered. He told me either I came clean to you or he would. And if I didn't, he was going to leave me. She reached into her bag, her hands shaking, and pulled out a folder. He made me bring this. Proof. In case you thought I was making it up. Inside were printouts of texts, conversations between her and my wife, dates, times, and mentions of Ben and hotel rooms. There it was, one email in particular. A reservation confirmation for a 2-night stay with my wife's name and Ben's, for the same room. I stared at it. My stomach plummeted. It's one thing to have a suspicion, to feel it in your gut. It's another thing entirely to see it in black and white, undeniable. I couldn't speak. I felt like I might throw up. Maria was still across from me, crying softly. I'm so sorry, she kept repeating. I know I should have told you sooner. I didn't know how. I didn't yell or scream. There was no point. She was already falling apart. I just sat there, staring at the floor, my jaw clenched so tight it hurt. Finally, I looked up at her and said quietly, Thank you for telling me, but I need you to go now. She nodded, sniffing. Yeah, of course. I'm sorry again. I didn't know what else to do. I get it, I muttered, still barely looking at her. I need to be alone. I need to process this. I think you need to go home and deal with your own marriage now. She nodded quickly, her eyes still brimming. I get it. I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. She let herself out, whispering apologies all the way to the door. As soon as the door clicked shut behind her, I just collapsed onto the couch. My whole body gave out, like the weight of everything had finally crushed me. I sat there with my hands over my face, and I just broke. I don't even remember how long I sat like that, shaking, barely able to breathe. It felt like my entire world had shattered into 1,000 sharp pieces, and I had no idea where to even begin to pick them up. Eventually, I managed to pull myself together enough to start thinking. I knew I had to confront Sarah, but I couldn't do it while I was in this raw, burning state. If I exploded, it would only turn into chaos, and I needed answers, not more damage. As if the universe wanted to test me, she came home maybe an hour after Maria left. I don't know if she suspected anything, but she walked in like it was just another normal day. She gave me a kiss on the cheek, smiling. Hey babe. I almost lost it right there. Pretending everything was fine was one of the hardest things I've ever done. My heart was pounding, and I had to force myself to stay neutral. I just managed to mumble, hey, and acted like I was watching TV. She went to take a shower, chatting casually about her day as if nothing was wrong. That night, I barely slept. I just lay there staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully right next to me, completely unaware that I knew everything. Her breathing was calm and steady. Mine wasn't. It was one of the longest, coldest nights of my life. I waited until the next evening. I'd rehearsed all day, going over what to say and how to stay calm. But when the moment came, none of that mattered. It all fell apart the second I opened my mouth. We were sitting across from each other after dinner. She was on her phone and I just said it. Cold. Steady. I know. She looked up. Know what? I kept my eyes on her. About you and Ben. Her face didn't change at first. Ben who? I shook my head. Cut the crap. Maria told me everything. She blinked, and for a split second, I saw fear in her eyes. Then she masked it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I leaned forward slightly, my voice tight. Don't insult me. I know you've been sleeping with Ben. Her face twisted so fast it was like watching a storm roll in. First pale, then shocked, then the tears started. But in an instant, those tears twisted into something else entirely. Anger. Rage. You talked to Maria? She snapped. Are you serious? That lying, jealous bitch. I can't believe you would listen to her. She told me everything, I said quietly. For months, you and Ben. All the lies. She made it all up, she shouted, pointing a finger at me. Maria has always been jealous of what we have. She's miserable in her own marriage and she wants to ruin ours. You're really going to believe her over your own wife? That's pathetic, Julian, pathetic. I tried to cut in. I have proof. Texts, emails. A hotel reservation with your name and Ben's. I'm not looking at that, she snapped, her face red. Those could be anything. Out of context, fake. Maria probably twisted everything to make it look bad. Seriously, I held up the printout. You expect me to believe she forged a hotel reservation with both of your names? She scoffed, her arms flailing. She asked me to help her book a romantic weekend with her husband. My name is on there because I helped her and Ben must have been a +1 for one of her friends. God, Julian, use your brain. I just stared at her, stunned by the shameless, desperate lies. You really think I'm that stupid? I asked, my voice low and tight. I think you've let Maria poison your mind, she spat. After everything we've been through, you choose her? You think that little of me? She stepped closer, her eyes wide and wild. Ben is just a trainer, a friend. Yeah, maybe I spent extra time at the gym, but that was for me, for us. I was trying to get healthy, feel better about myself, and now you're accusing me of this. I felt like I was being turned inside out. She was twisting everything, gaslighting me, making me the villain for knowing the truth. You're flipping this on me now? I said through clenched teeth. You want me to believe that Maria forged messages? That Ben was just tagging along on some random trip? That I'm the problem for confronting you with this? She glared at me, breathing hard. Yes, you betrayed me the second you believed her over me. You're the one tearing this marriage apart, Julian. That was it. I slammed my hand on the countertop. It was a dumb move, but the pain in my knuckles felt like a small anchor, grounding me. She jumped, and it silenced her for a second. I took a deep breath. Look at what this is doing. Why can't you just come clean? She didn't flinch. She just stared at me with this cold, defiant look that made my blood boil. There's nothing to come clean about, she said flatly. Then, just like that, the act changed. She flipped into a pleading tone, her voice cracking. Please, you're wrong. Please believe me. It was wild, watching her cycle through masks. Anger, guilt-tripping, pleading. She was just trying to find whatever might get me to back off. I was done. I leaned in, looked her dead in the eyes and said, if you won't tell me the truth, maybe Ben will. She froze. The anger, the fake calm, the tears. It all vanished. Her face drained of all color, and her body went rigid. She was terrified. Why would you do that? She said, her voice barely a whisper. This has nothing to do with him. My jaw clenched. It has everything to do with him. And if your story is true, you shouldn't care if I talk to him, right? You're crazy, she shot back, eyes wide. You'll make a scene. You'll embarrass both of us if you go to his work. I didn't blink. I don't believe you, and I will find out the truth one way or another. That was it. She crumbled, falling apart right in front of me. Tears again, though I couldn't tell if they were real this time. She turned and ran into the guest room, slamming the door behind her as if she were the one who had been betrayed. I didn't chase her. I didn't have anything left to say. I slept on the couch that night, or at least I tried to. I was too wired, my heart racing, my thoughts looping all night. By morning, I felt like an empty shell, exhausted and still furious. She came out looking like hell, her eyes puffy, her skin pale. I doubted she had slept either. She didn't say a word, just started getting ready for work, Or maybe she just wanted to get away from me. As she moved around the kitchen, avoiding my eyes, I said calmly, "I'm going to talk to Ben today." She froze for a heartbeat, then just shook her head and walked out. No goodbye, no fight, nothing. By that point, I was 99.9% sure of the truth, but I still needed to hear it from him or catch them in something that would erase every last shred of doubt. I was planning to go to the gym that afternoon, around the time I knew he'd be working. But I didn't even have to. A couple of hours after she had stormed out, she came back. It was strange. She never came home that early. She must have called in sick. But there she was, standing in the doorway, looking miserable, like she'd been crying or hadn't slept at all, or both. I was sitting on the couch, staring blankly at the TV, trying to figure out if I was still angry or just done. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there clutching her bag. Finally, she moved to the couch and sat down, not close to me, just there. Then she broke. Her shoulders slumped, her face caved in on itself, and the mask finally cracked. But even then, the truth didn't pour out all at once. It came in slow, stuttered pieces, as if she still thought she could save something. "I messed up with Ben," she said quietly, her eyes fixed on the floor. "Messed up?" I scoffed. "You think messed up covers this?" She flinched, then shook her head, still not looking at me. "We only kissed. A few times." "It didn't." I laughed. Couldn't help it. It wasn't funny, but it was so absurd. "We're way past the just a kiss stage. Try again." She inhaled sharply as if slapped. "Okay, we slept together, but only twice. I swear it didn't mean anything. It was just physical." I stared at her. "You really think I'm that stupid? You think that line's going to work now?" Her face crumpled then, and I saw it. She was out of options. She just broke. "It's been going on for months," she said through tears. "About 4 months, ever since I started training with him. I didn't mean for it to go that far. We'd meet whenever we could, at his apartment, in hotels, even once in the back of his car in a parking lot." I closed my eyes for a second. I didn't need that image. "Anytime I said I was with Maria or running errands," she whispered, "I was probably with him." I nodded slowly, biting the inside of my cheek, wanting all of it to come out. "It wasn't just sex," she admitted, her voice cracking. "Not after a while. I got in over my head. I was confused. I felt neglected, like I didn't matter to you anymore. He made me feel seen, wanted." That was the moment I had to clench my jaw so hard it hurt. I could hear the excuses bubbling out of her, trying to reframe what she did as an emotional accident. "So it's my fault now?" I asked quietly. "No, I'm not saying that," she said quickly. I don't know. I was lonely. I felt unattractive. Like I didn't notice you anymore, right?" I said flatly. "So instead of talking to me, you decided to sleep with someone else." She just cried. There was no defense left. Then, as if she hadn't already gutted me enough, she added one more thing. "I used our money," she mumbled. I slowly turned my head to look at her. "You what?" She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Our card. Sometimes. For hotels, dinners, Ubers, stuff like that." I stared at her. "Did Ben ever pay for anything? Or was it all on your tab?" She admitted it. "Yeah, she paid for most of it. I wanted to enjoy nice things with him," she said, almost rehearsed. "So I paid for them." I scoffed. "So he saw you as a walking credit card? And you were fine with that?" She opened her mouth, then shut it, not even sounding convinced by her own excuse. She had paid for hotel rooms, dinners, gifts. A pricey smartwatch I'd only noticed because I saw it on our credit card statement. She had passed it off as a gadget she bought for herself. "Did you buy him that watch?" I asked her point blank. She hesitated, then nodded. I leaned back against the wall, my arms crossed, feeling the pressure in my chest building. "Anything else?" She looked like she was shrinking. "I gave him a couple of loans. He was having money troubles." I was seeing red. It's one thing to cheat and lie, but to literally siphon off our joint finances to spoil some guy who's sleeping with you? Absolutely brutal. She broke down, sobbing. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please, I'll do anything to make it right." She dropped to her knees, clinging to my hand like a lifeline. "Please, we can go to counseling. I'll never speak to him again. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you." I didn't say anything at first, just stood there while she wept at my feet. Then I pulled my hand away. "Stop." I was strangely calm then, beyond the anger, beyond the hurt, just done. She looked up at me, and that seemed to scare her more than if I had yelled. "Do you love him?" I asked. She shook her head so violently I thought she might hurt herself. "No, absolutely not. I never loved him. It was infatuation. Lust. I was stupid. I thought it was exciting, but it meant nothing, I swear to you. I never wanted to leave you. I hated myself every day. It was like living a double life. I was drowning in guilt. Most of it washed over me. I wasn't even really listening. Then she said something that stuck. I feel relieved. You finally know. The guilt was eating me alive. Relieved. That's what she said. A funny way of showing it, considering how hard she had tried to lie just moments before. In the end, I just told her I needed space and time. I can't do this right now, I said, my voice barely steady. I need space. I just can't look at you or talk to you for a while. She looked stunned, like she hadn't expected that. Please, I continued, backing away when she tried to step toward me. You should leave the house, just for a while. Her eyes widened. You want me to leave? Yes, I said quietly but firmly. I need you gone. She looked terrified. You're not going to tell everyone, are you? She asked, her voice cracking. You're not going to do anything crazy? I shook my head. I don't have the energy for any of that. Not right now. I'm not thinking about revenge or drama. I just need you out of this house. She started crying full on now, her shoulders shaking. Where am I supposed to go? I don't know, I said, rubbing my forehead. Your parents, maybe, or your sisters? She sank onto the ottoman, sobbing. Is this it? Is this the end for us? Please don't do this. Don't give up on me. I couldn't even look at her. My throat burned. My chest felt like it was caving in. I don't know, I said honestly. I really don't. But I can't deal with you right now. Please, just go. She sat there crying for another minute or two. Then, slowly, she nodded and stood up, still sobbing. She went to the bedroom and started packing a bag. I sat on the edge of the couch, completely numb. The sound of the suitcase zipping shut was final. Watching her walk out the door was surreal, like I was watching it happen to someone else. When the door finally closed behind her, I sat there for a long time in silence. Then it hit me. The weight of everything, the betrayal, the loss, the absolute chaos. I broke down. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I probably cried harder than I ever had in my life. I couldn't stop shaking, couldn't stop gasping for air. It all came out in one ugly, soul-crushing wave. Eventually, when I was just empty, I went into practical mode. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe I just needed something to focus on besides the pain. I picked up my phone and called my older brother. Hey, I said, my voice hoarse. He immediately knew something was wrong. What's going on? She cheated, I said flatly. It's over. I asked her to leave. There was a pause. I'll be there in an hour. True to his word, he showed up fast. I don't know if he told my parents, but they started blowing up my phone not long after. Texts, missed calls, voicemails. I couldn't handle that yet. I just sent one message back. I'm okay. Not ready to talk yet. My brother didn't push. He just said, come on, let's get out of here for a bit. And basically dragged me outside for some air. We didn't talk much, but being around someone who knew me helped. That first night after she left, I actually managed to sleep a little. Not because I felt any better, but just from sheer emotional exhaustion. The next morning, I got up early and didn't waste any time. First thing, I called a locksmith and had the locks changed. Then I sat down with my laptop and started making appointments with 2 different divorce lawyers. I was 99% sure I was going to file for divorce, but I wanted to know my options and how the process works. Given the infidelity and the fact that we don't have kids and we rent our place, it should be a clean split. I already moved half of our joint savings into a separate account under my name. My lawyer will sort out what's fair later, but I wasn't about to let her keep spending our money on that loser. I haven't been responding to most of her texts or calls since she left, except for one message to let her know I was alive and needed time. She's been sending these walls of apologies every few hours. Long, rambling confessions filled with, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You didn't deserve this. And, I love you so much. Please don't hate me. I read them, but I just don't reply. What is there to say? She wants a chance to fix this, but I don't see how that's even remotely possible. I'll likely be moving forward with the divorce once I have everything in order. Right now, I'm just taking it one day at a time. It's been about 2 weeks since the big blow-up, and I figured I'd close the loop here with what's been happening. A lot has gone down. First off, I did file for divorce. I met with a lawyer, got the paperwork drawn up, and had Sarah served a few days ago. I made sure to have all the evidence, texts, emails, everything documented. We're in a no-fault state, so it's not strictly needed legally, but I still wanted it all noted for myself, if nothing else. She didn't take being served well. She showed up at the house shortly after getting the papers. I heard the knock, looked through the peephole, and saw her there, her eyes red, holding her phone in one hand, trembling. I hesitated, then I opened the door. Can we talk? Please, she said, her voice already catching. I didn't say anything right away, just stepped aside and let her in. We sat in the living room, awkwardly far apart, her on the edge of the couch, me standing near the kitchen pass-through. She started crying almost immediately. Julian, I'm so sorry. she said through sobs. I know I messed everything up. I know I hurt you. I'm not expecting forgiveness. I need to say it. I need to try. I didn't say much. I let her talk. Maybe I shouldn't have, but a part of me wanted to hear it, what she would say now that the jig was truly up. She went on for nearly an hour, sobbing, apologizing, making promises. Some of it was hard to listen to. Other parts felt rehearsed. But the one thing she said that stood out was, I cut all contact with Ben. I swear I met up with him once, just once after everything happened, only to officially break it off. I didn't even ask for details on that. I didn't care. She insisted he meant nothing, that it was some messed up escapism or a midlife crisis on her part. Her words came out in sobs, desperate and rapid, as if she thought if she said it fast enough, I'd somehow stop hearing the betrayal behind them. It didn't mean anything, Julian, I swear. It was just, God, I don't even know. I was stupid. I was lost. Please just give me another chance. She offered everything. Marriage counseling, a postnuptial agreement, full access to her phone and emails, even a shared location. Whatever it takes, she kept saying over and over like a chant. Then she said something that made my stomach turn. If you want to sleep with someone else to even the score, I'll accept it. I deserve it. That was a particularly low moment. No, I said immediately. I'm not going to sink to that level just to balance some imaginary scale. This isn't about revenge. This isn't a transaction. I just listened. I'd already done my crying, my yelling, all the emotional spirals that came before this day. At this point, I was just drained. So I told her, as calmly as I could manage, I'm moving forward with the divorce because I genuinely believe we're beyond repair. She looked like I had slapped her. I don't hate you, I said, but I can't forgive what you did, and I'll never be able to trust you again. That trust is dead, and I'm not interested in trying to resurrect it. She crumbled, literally sliding to the floor like her knees gave out. I'll be lost without you, she said. You're my whole world, Julian. Watching her in that state, it was almost pathetic. And I know that sounds cruel, but it's the truth. I realized in that moment that I didn't have any sympathy left for her. I stayed calm and repeated myself. There's no coming back from this. I hope you get whatever help you need, but we're done. Eventually, I had to guide her to the door, gently but firmly. It was going nowhere. She was just looping through the same regrets and pleas, and I wasn't budging. I think reality finally started to sink in for her that night. Since then, she's been texting me, with long, emotional apologies and random little memory joggers. Remember when we went to Big Bear that one winter? Remember the night we stayed up until 3 a.m. building that bookshelf because we couldn't figure it out? Sometimes I don't respond. Other times I just say nothing has changed. I haven't seen her in person since that day, and I don't plan to, unless it's through lawyers. From what I've heard, she's staying with her parents. During all this, I've had a lot of support. My family has been incredible. My mom, God bless her, basically wanted to drive over and slap her. Just say the word, Julian. I'll do it. I told her to stay out of it. My friends have been keeping me busy, inviting me out to grab food, watch a game, and just hang. A couple of them have crashed at my place, so I'm not alone. It helps. I also started seeing a therapist to work through the anger and hurt in a healthy way. That's still a work in progress, but it feels like I'm doing something rather than just drowning in it. I ended up talking quite a bit with Maria's husband, the one who initially forced the truth out. We've sort of bonded over this messed up situation. We met up for a beer, something casual but real. Just two guys trying to wrap their heads around how their lives got flipped sideways. I still can't believe she lied to my face like that, he said, staring down at his glass. Maria swore she was just covering for a friend, but even that felt like a betrayal. You know, I get it, I said. Same with Sarah. I didn't see any of it coming. And then it all just hit. He nodded slowly. I'm furious at your wife for dragging Maria into this, and at Maria for going along with it. But she's trying. She's really trying to fix it. We're in couples therapy now. You thinking of staying with her? I asked. I don't know, he said, quiet for a moment. She offered me full access to her phone, accounts, passwords, everything. Said she wants to rebuild trust however she can. I haven't filed for divorce, but I'm still on the fence. I do love her. I just don't know if love is enough. Whatever you decide, man, I respect it, I said, honest and calm. Everyone's threshold is different. He gave me a grateful look, like he needed to hear that. He also mentioned that Maria really wanted to apologize to me again. She's been saying she wishes she could talk to you, he said, but she's giving you space. She doesn't want to make it worse. Tell her I'm not mad at her, I said after thinking for a second. I was at first. Yeah, I was angry, but I realized she was trying badly to be a loyal friend. She got herself into a bad spot. But in the end, she told me the truth. That counts for something. He nodded. I think that's gonna mean a lot to her. It already does to me. Don't get me wrong, I added. I don't exactly want to hang out or anything, but you can let her know I hold no grudges. I appreciate her coming clean. Now, the question a few people have already asked me, what about Ben, the trainer? Did I ever confront him or have it out with him? The answer is no. I haven't spoken to him and I don't plan to. Believe me, the caveman part of my brain fantasized about finding him and knocking his teeth out, but he's not worth me catching an assault charge. He's honestly irrelevant now. I'm not shedding any tears for the guy. I doubt he and my wife will be riding off into the sunset together either, especially now that she's broke and he's just a gym trainer. When I found out, I didn't even blow up. No shouting match, no broken plates, just this cold kind of stillness. I remember looking at her, really looking, and realizing I didn't recognize her anymore. Is this really it? I had asked her the night it all came out. She just stood there, silent. No apology, no explanation that made any sense. Just this blank expression like she'd already checked out. But whatever happens with them, if anything, is not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem anymore. And once I let that idea settle in, that I didn't have to carry her choices anymore, it was like something inside me started to loosen. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Divorce is underway. The ex-wife-to-be is out of the house. I won't lie, packing up her stuff was weird. Watching her drive off with that last box, it hit harder than I thought it would. And I'm focusing on getting my life back on track. It still hurts. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I walk past the empty side of the bed or open the fridge and see food she used to like. And it stings. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm just sad. But each day that passes, I feel a tiny bit more like myself. I know for sure that ending this marriage is the right call. The amount of deceit and disrespect was just beyond anything I could work with. There was no coming back from that. No therapy. No talk could rewind what was said and done. I'm looking ahead now. I've leaned on friends and family. My buddy Kevin came over the other night with pizza and beer. He didn't say anything profound, just sat with me, talked crap about football and let the silence be comfortable. You'll get through it, he said finally. You already are. I'm keeping myself busy with work and hobbies, and I'm taking care of myself. I've started running again, not fast, not far, but enough. And weirdly, it helps clear my head. It's gonna take time to heal, but I'll get there. It's been about 6 months since the divorce was finalized. Life's been quieter, not perfect, but solid. I've rebuilt a few things, let go of others, and most days I feel okay. Healing isn't a straight line, but I'm moving forward. Then today, I got a call from one of my old friends. I could hear the tension in his voice before he even said a word. Hey man, just thought you should know. That guy, the gym trainer, he's in the hospital. I raised an eyebrow. What happened? Apparently he got jumped, my friend continued. A couple of guys cornered him outside a bar last night. Broke his nose. Smashed up his hand pretty bad. Cops think it was a robbery gone wrong. I stayed silent for a beat. Just listened. But here's the weird part, my friend continued. The trainer told the cops they took only his watch, and the only thing they told him was, karma's not a bitch, it's a circle. What you put out comes back to you. Then they beat the hell out of him. Couldn't help it. I smiled. Just a little. No malice, no celebration. Just that quiet kind of smile you make when the universe seems to settle its own scores in its own time. Damn, I said. Hope he recovers. Yeah. Anyway, figured you'd want to know. Thanks, I said, then ended the call. I put my phone down, exhaled slowly, and went back to my coffee. Not my circus, not my monkeys, but still. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.